So first of all, let me talk about this energy because it came out and it's not good. So this is a card overall about some indiscretion, some lying, cheating, stealing, some sneaky energy that is around you where somebody has revealed themselves to be very cunning, devious. And I also feel a lot of intellectual property theft, student, somebody copying your homework, somebody taking credit for the work that you're doing, or working in a group situation where somebody's not contributing their fair share. I see a lot of students. And then I also feel in the work environment, there has been some, skimming off the top, like corruption, stealing, theft. And I feel like the people might have been sheltered from repercussions, mainly because, they were from the top. And this is a situation that I feel whoever was caught or whoever was exposed, they're still dealing with the ramifications. They're still like, there are still a panel trying to decide, like how much of it did they do? Like how bad was the situation? They're trying to assess, how bad was it? Do we need to take actions? Do we need to do something about it? What kind of punishment would be appropriate? So they're still trying to sift through all the information. They're trying to sift through the evidence. They're trying to figure out who's accountable, and they're trying to figure out what to do. Do we publish this in the newspaper and bring attention to ourselves? Or do we just keep quiet and fire that person or get rid of that person? Or reveal to an authority figure that that person is doing that? And would that authority figure be on our side? So I feel like there's a lot of things happening for you guys. And I feel like this energy basically deals with a lot of fluctuations happening in your work environment where you might have dealt with somebody like this. They're still around. You still have to deal with them and work with them, even though they bring this energy with them. And so my advice for this here is that whatever is hidden is going to be illuminated for you. Okay. For the world to see, for everybody to kind of like, I want to say like to snap out of their naivety, to be able to see the situation and figure out what do we do from here. So I feel like some truths will be illuminated. Some things will present itself concretely, and you're going to have that aha moment where things will start to make sense, where all the pieces of the puzzle will start to fall into place. You can see the big picture, and then you're not going to be left wondering anymore. Okay? And so that's what I feel happening here. The second thing that comes through, I have here the Ace of Cups. And the way this is coming out is it feels to me as if there was a person that you held in high esteem, high regards. And I feel like you really, you were digging this person. You gave your love away to this person. And the situation, I feel like you might have broken up and the situation is coming back around. And you're going to have to decide once and for all, was this worth it? Was the person appropriate? Were they truthful? Because I feel like they were not. Were they truthful? I'm seeing there's a lot of power struggles. I'm also seeing with this card, with the moon, information coming to light. Things that were hidden about this person is coming to light. And when information comes to light, you're going to have to, you can't really ignore it, right? You can't really ignore it and, stick your head in the sand and just continue as you have, because it's not going to pan out well. We need to, be enlightened, and we need to, I want to say like stay nimble and move with the energies. We can't resist it and pretend it didn't exist, pretend it didn't happen, pretend that we didn't know, be in denial about things. Okay. So I feel like some major revelations are happening in your relationship sector. You are doing some major digging into a situation to figure out, is this worth it? What should I do about this? So a lot of your time, a lot of your energy is going towards, a major relationship here to figure out if it's worth it. What can I do? What can I What can I do to make it better? What can I do to join that person? What can I do to see that person again? So it's very wrapped up in relationships. I'm also sensing the Ace of Cups is kind of like emotional happiness, right? Emotional happiness, emotional fulfillment. There's some information coming to light as it relates to some type of wrongful, false energy that has fallen upon you. Things are coming to light so that you can be cleared of it. People are potentially investigating, digging into this situation to figure out, to clear your name, to give you, your title back. And in the past, if people have not believed you, this is the month in which they're going to respect you. They're going to take you at face value. They're not going to question your authority. They're not going to question your expertise anymore. They're going to take you at face value, and you're going to have that recognition. You're going to have that clarity, like things being revealed in the light. And because it's funny, you're ruled by, I'm sorry, you're represented here in the cards, especially as the sun, and also, the strength card. But I feel like the sun is your luminary, and it deals with the ego, right? It deals with how we feel when other people don't see us the way that we see ourselves, right? The ego is speaking. And so we might force people to see, oh, this is me, this is who I am. And if for whatever reason they don't really see it, sometimes it requires us to, learn that whole process of humility, where we let things be, where we let people be who they are, and we don't try to fight the situation. And when we have that inner peace, when we have that spiritual, emotional fulfillment within us, where we don't need external validation, we know who we are and we know what truth is. It feels to me like that's when the obstacles and the blockages will start to clear up for you. That's when people will start prying and digging. And that's when they're going to be a lot more willing and ready to see the real you and to shine light on the situation and to allow the world, the rest of the world as well, to see you. So I feel like there's some major, big changes for the better for you guys. Okay, Leos? The next thing that I want to talk about here is we have the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles usually indicates like family, generational wealth, things that are built up, accumulated over many decades, over many generations. And one of the things that comes out with this card is that I feel like some of you have to really examine this, okay? Think about your parents. Think about all the sacrifices, right? Their grandparents, your own parents have to do in order to secure a lot of wealth, okay? And what I'm seeing is this is not just money. This is about a lifestyle. This is about, having that luxury to be able to send you to a really good school for some of you, to help you land that internship, intern at a law firm that your dad works at or that your dad owns. And then having the opportunities to, having the blessing to be able to land jobs based on family connections, right? And a lot of the times growing up in this, in a place of, a lot of luxury, we might also forget the little people. The people that didn't have the support network, the people that didn't grow up in this wealth with all of these connections, we tend to forget the little people, the ones that are struggling in the trenches, the ones that are having difficulties making ends meet, the ones that are losing direction in life, mainly because they might have a lot of financial worries, a lot of financial concerns. Their mentality or, their viewpoint is only like, they don't think things long term. They think things in terms of survival. They're operating from the base chakra, survival, fight or flight. And they're only seeing things like, what am I going to feed the kids tomorrow? Do I have enough money to pay rent next month? And so when they're in this space, they can't really make decisions to get themselves out of these vicious cycles, right? And so I feel like this is a major, big month for you to confront all of these things, you know, and especially in terms of where are my blessings? What have people done for me to help me get to where I am right now? And what can I do to give back? Because I feel like this is the month to steer away from the ego and to work more from the conscience, to work more from, you know, like spiritual fulfillment. So I feel like a lot of you are very blessed where financially things have been really good for you. And there's some major shakeup happening recently. I'm sensing even last month where you're re-examining a lot of things, and you're re-examining, you know, whether or not having like a very privileged background, or whether or not, you know, growing up in this, whether or not you need to thank a lot of people for helping you get where you are today, and whether or not you have been very harsh with other people. You're not a harsh sign, Leo. You're a leader. But I feel like a lot of the times the struggles of, you know, the everyday people kind of get lost in the scramble for power, the scramble for resources. And I feel like this is the month in which you're thinking about, you know, where do my values lie, and what can I do to help people who don't have enough? And what can I do to make myself emotionally happy? And one of the major thing about emotional fulfillment here is how we can give back, you know, given what we know, finding ways to make yourself happy, finding ways to find that long-term, not just fleeting fulfillment, but like long-term emotional fulfillment, being of service to other, because this is a card here that represents Pisces, the moon, and the moon affects all, like on a global scale. Luminaries affect all people. And what it says here with Pisces, it's a sign of sacrifice. It's a sign of foregoing all the wealth that you have, work in the trenches, be around other people who might, you know, not have enough, and being able to inspire them and being able to help them achieve a lot of success. I feel like that's where a lot of you are being divinely guided to go, because like I said, you are a leader and people need your leadership capabilities. People need you to be their cheerleader, to inspire them and to kind of like push them to be a lot more courageous, push them to take risk, so that they can get themselves out of the trenches and get themselves out of their predicament. And I feel like if you're at a point where you're looking at, you know, your job or your career, you're just like, I'm not really happy anymore. Aim to do something related to social enterprise. Aim to do something where you can inspire and lead people to help them out of these financially shaky situation, so that they can see a path forward. Okay, so I feel overall this is a major big month here for rethinking, reshaping, you know, what is your career purpose? What do you want to do? If you're starting a project, if you're waiting on investment opportunities here and you're starting a project and you have multiple projects under your belt, think about the project that not only benefits you but benefits like the majority of people. What project will allow you to help the most people, and what project is meaningful on a global scale? Okay. The last thing that I want to end this with here is there's this major sense here about heading into spiritual enlightenment. Okay, trying to make decisions that I feel that you are divinely guided to take. Okay, you have some spiritual guidance, very, very strong spiritual guidance coming through to help you reach emotional stability and to help you reach emotional fulfillment. And I feel that it requires risk. It requires embarking on a new journey. It might also require, I feel like, a spiritual quest where you leave your earthly possessions behind. And I see some of you going on a pilgrimage, going to an ashram, going to a yoga meditation center, checking yourself in, and living with less. Okay, like being on your own, taking that vow of silence, and just trying to work things out in a very spiritual setting. You have divine protection, you have divine guidance coming through in that matter. Okay, so Leos, this is a very I've never seen this energy for you guys, but I feel overall the month of July is kind of like a major wake up call for a lot of people. And some people, you know, if they're on the right path, then they're going to continue on their path, on their journey. If they're on the wrong path, on the other hand, they're going to encounter a lot of blockages, you know, since March, April, May, June, July, and then everything is like, everything unravels, everything that we think we believe in, everything that we've, you know, worked hard for. If they're not for our greater good, things are going to start to unravel. We're going to question a lot of things. And I feel that's what's happening for you guys right now. And it's basically telling you, change your path. If you're not happy, change your path. And you have some really good blessings coming in. So rather than waiting on things, you know, change your path and figure out where you can chart new territory, where you have held yourself back because of stability or security, and figure out what you can do different that might really resonate with you on a soul level.